figuring out data strategy, figuring out the emerging tech like AI and digital twins as they are actually being developed or created, which is amazing. And speaking about careers in data and emerging tech in general. I haven't been live for a bit, so I'm glad that I'm back now to it again. And I'll just create another episode about managing priorities and things like that. But today I want to speak more about AI. So if you're joining me on LinkedIn or on YouTube, I should be live on both platforms, hopefully. So if you're joining me, just please write where you're joining from, say hello. I'd love to know who's watching. And if you're joining me on replay, yeah, put again, put that in the comment and I will make sure to respond. So, this episode, I want to speak about AI. Well, everyone really is talking about AI at the moment and how organizations should make use of it and how it is the latest and greatest and will solve all our problems, which is interesting. But I'm here to say why it is not that easy and it doesn't work really at an enterprise scale. And what do we need to speak about to make it work? Really understanding it, because it's rarely about the model. Um, it's not really about the model. Um, so I don't know if your organization uses LLMs, RAGs, or React. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. But today I'm really kind of explaining those layers because I feel like it's really important if you're working in the data field to understand what are those layers and an example of how does it work. Because people just speak about them, but I get a lot of questions about the differences and what examples can that be can demonstrate them. So I'll walk you slowly through the layers just to explain them and explain the power of each of the layers, but also like an example end to end. Okay. So let me explain first the LLM. So an LLM model is not very is straightforward. So basically it can write you copy something or summarize reports, draft responses, like put an email through and just says like, can you just respond to that email, without knowing anything about the actual data. It just responds basically, and creates things, which is great, but that's not really where the power is. A RAG, which is another type, is connects the model to your data, your enterprise knowledge, policies, procedures, contracts. And that is more powerful because this is when really governance starts to scale. And this is when you ask the model, and the model is actually goes back and be able to respond based on processes and policies and procedures and the contracts and your playbooks, really. So that's the RAG um, layer. React is really when the model suggests things and it doesn't just respond, it queries the system and it actually triggers workflows. Like it does work for you. It updates records, it changes things. Think about it as AI embedded in operations. So the AI itself is part of your operation now. It is working for you. It is a colleague, and it's just getting stuff done, which is brilliant. So those are the three really levels or the three types of AI. For the organization or for the enterprise to really scale it and use it in anger, it needs to understand how to create that in an ecosystem that works for it. So let me give you an example, and I'll give a retail example, okay? Because it's easier. We all like buy stuff and, go shopping or whatever. So I think it's easiest when actually is a retail example. So let's say it's an end of a season, right? It's the end of the season and you want the LLM model to create for you um, uh, like a sales copy, like something that you can put out to the customers, right? End of season, think about it this way: thousand of SKUs um, and products out. Customers who are really impatient, they want their stuff straight away. Supply chain that is really stretched and under a lot of pressure because end of seasons, like everything is crazy, and like supply and the retail wants to get rid of everything at that stage. And the LLM basically writes you that lovely email that you can send to your customer. Okay. It's fast, it's scalable, and it's sometimes even better than an agent. Okay. Brilliant. So that is LLM. Now let's put RAG on top of that. RAG is actually when it knows the organization knowledge. So it has access to things. So basically, now the AI knows that the navy puffer jacket, it takes 2 days to ship. And your red one, there is 38% return on that one. So basically now it has organization knowledge. It has access to an asset. Okay. So it also knows that what the LLM created is a bit pushy and your voice is actually more warm. So it knows that from a marketing perspective, your voice is a bit different. So now you put the RAG on top of the LLM, and all of a sudden, that is power. Add React as the third layer. Oh my God, that's amazing now. Because React is when the AI can take actions. So basically, it is when it knows that it has access to real time data, and it knows that there is only 20 units of that navy puffer jacket. And the system triggers the markdown and updates the product feeds and alerts the buying team and the supplier and just makes sure that you can actually reship, or it's just different. It is a powerhouse. And all of a sudden, the breakthrough is not really the model that you've created. The breakthrough is the data strategy that's feeding into the right AI, right? The data that says, this is when you connect with the supplier because this is the trigger point when you reorder, and then the AI goes and reorders stuff automatically. It is that data strategy that has your marketing profile and knows that this is your voice. It is actually warm and not pushy. This is what your supplier, this is what your customer wants. And this is your data strategy. I don't know if I'd love to hear your experience. Like, does your organization has those kind of AI layers? Does it really make use of all of them or not? Um, but yeah, I'd love to hear more about how other organizations are doing it. Because for me, if I think about it, AI without a data strategy, you're experimenting things. You're trying to, you know, do stuff, try to know the latest tech stuff, and basically say that you're doing AI. But AI on top of a strong data strategy that knows really the link to policies, procedures, can react, can trigger things, can have the AI as a colleague. This is different because this is now operating model redesign. You're changing the operating model of the business, and all of a sudden, that AI is a colleague of yours. And I think, like, basically today, this is what I wanted to share, is just really thinking out loud about those AI model or AI types, in giving you an example of what they're like, how to use them, and an example end to end of the power that the organizations really can use. um with that, I don't know, like, do you guys have any examples? Can you share examples in the comments? Have you seen that in the organizations? Whether you're working with, like, in your organization or in other organizations when speaking with other people. Um, as I said, I always think about AI, but for me, because I work in data strategy, it's really embedding the AI in the data strategy itself, end to end, especially if you're doing cross-functional projects, which is just, that is the power that can drive the organization forward. Um, with that, I don't know. I hope that that kind of gave you a bit of insights into the type of AI. As I said, three types are LLM, RAG, and React. The most powerful is really when you get it to react and really be part of the, like, a colleague in the business. I'd love to hear your examples and experience. I hope today's episode was really useful. Um, until I see you next time, hope you have a lovely evening. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.